Hey everybody, I do apologize for what's been going on with those quizzes. I've gotten a lot of emails, and just so you know, we're getting those fixed. Those will be graded in the next day, so amen to that. I apologize. I got in contact with IT because I noticed there were question marks coming up. I wasn't able to grade them. They gave me a way to grade those, and so now I'm going to go back in and get that done. It took a little while for a response, but it's okay. Everybody's busy, and I understand that. So I'll get those graded. Want to talk a little bit about what we have been dealing with in regards to your Module 2 discussion. I haven't been on. I apologize again. I've been sick. Wasn't the vid in Jesus' name, but I was down for the count. Let me tell you, still a little sniffly and all that, but it's all good. We'll be fine. Anyway, so one of the things is just that discussion spoke about is how to connect. And I loved reading your discussions, loved reading what you guys said in regards to tribal leadership and connecting with your team and all that stuff. So, there are just so many different creative ways to connect with your team. I do believe knowing their personalities, whether that's Myers-Briggs, whether that's Enneagram, knowing its love language. Let me tell you something funny about that. So in regards to the love language, I am an Enneagram 7 verse 8, and I'm love language, acts of service, and sometimes quality time. Let me tell you what is not in a top place of my life. That would be words of affirmation. I know that's horrible, but as a pastor, I'm trying to be words of affirmation. I'm super, always wanting to give words of affirmation, but just kind of failed to do so. So I just put something out on a group chat, which, let me say this: if you have a team that you're over, a group chat is awesome. I know that seems really like so trivial and so like, oh, it's a group chat, but be honest on the group chat, have fun on the group chat. Don't just make it about work, make it about life. And if you do that, there's something that connects. We've been doing that since the day that we started this church, and we have a very healthy staff. Everybody loves one another, and it's awesome. And I'm telling you, it's hilarious. Be so open on that group chat that it's, you guys feel like family. But anyway, and so I put something out recently. I said, hey, what are your love languages? I just didn't know what I know what all of their Enneagrams are. So I know how to speak to them. I know when they're in their certain moods. I know when they're battling certain things. And if you know the Enneagram, I know when they're stressing. I know when they're in growth patterns. So it's really helped me. But I wanted to find out what their love languages were. And so I ended up realizing or finding out that their love languages, of the 8 staff members, 7 of them, their number one is words of affirmation. So I texted back, I said, so basically every one of you thinks that I hate you because I am horrible at words of affirmation. But I do give it, but not like I should. And so I think that is, if you want to connect. So now that I know that, I'm a little bit more verbal in how I speak, but I've always been like, hey, get the job done. And if you don't hear me talk to you, in regards to your job, and we just talk and have fun, then you're in good shape. But they like affirmation. They like, hey, great job, good job, so proud of you. And I always am. My wife always tells me she's words of affirmation too. But I've kind of learned that in my marriage and all that stuff. But I have learned to speak out a little bit more and to tell them what I think, because I always do think that I'm proud of them, or man, what a great job they're doing, or believe in you, or whatever that might be. I just don't say it. I think it, but I don't say it. So now I'm kind of learning to say it. So one of the things that's important as a leader is that you want to recognize your team. You want to recognize how they receive love, how they receive correction, how to speak to them. Man, that is so critical. I can't tell you how many times in my ministry that I have been with people, and I didn't know much about Enneagram. I didn't know anything about Enneagram, knew a little bit about love languages. And had I known that about either my lead pastor or the teams around me, it could have been different and would have been different. And so it's important to understand that. There's a lot of pastors out there that just try to lead the way they like to be led. But you need to lead not just the way you like to be led. You need to lead the way those who are on your staff and on your team the way they like to be led. It's not that's kind of that transformational leadership as well. And so it's just understanding who they are, and it's hard. It's hard when you lead from a certain way and you do certain things. It's hard to not kind of fall into the pattern of this is how I do it, and that's just it. I know there are some of you, you're 8s on the Enneagram. 8s are very strong personalities. 8s probably have the hardest, more difficult time in regards to staff, because you have your opinions, and sometimes if you are on a staff, it's difficult. But if you are the leader of the staff, to be an 8 can be hard. You have to tap into the healthy 8. You got to see where that healthy 8 lies and lead from that point. Because if you lead from an unhealthy 8, if you lead from an unhealthy point of any of your Enneagrams, you're going to lose your staff, and it's going to be real troublesome. So you have to be able to know who you are, but know who they are. That's a great way to connect. And then we talked about the tribes in this discussion. You read about the tribes. The tribes are really interesting. You have your 1 through 5. I believe, and I spoke to our staff, as well. I mean, of course, I'm the lead pastor, so maybe they're lying to me, but I feel that way. Okay, let me just say I feel that way. It seems that way. We have very little turnover, if any. I mean, it's really an awesome team. But I believe we're at a 4. I believe we're at a 4, maybe close to 5. I don't know if we're at a 5, but I definitely see ourselves at a 4. And getting there was pretty simple. And if you know your staff, and you know how to connect with them, and you know how to love on them, and you know what makes them smile, you know what helps them through things, man, that really does help you get to that 4. I'm so grateful my wife is my co-pastor here. She is the co-pastor of our church, and I'm so grateful that she is words of affirmation, because where I lacked, she thrived, and it really helped the staff, and it was awesome. We regularly connected with them. These are some tangibles. Regularly connect with them, have them over for dinner. We go out to movies with them. We just went to a circus the other day with them. That is the greatest investment you could ever make, is in your staff. So you want to connect with them, invest in them. If there's anything you take out of this, if you want to connect with your team, invest in your team. And the way you invest is by knowing their personality, who they are, how to speak to them. And then another way to invest is just financially. I know that's really what it is. You financially invest with them, not by going to a movie. We're going kayaking here soon. We went and did an escape room, those types of things. And then if you are at a point in your ministry where you can financially bless them, with a bonus, if they do something good, you bonus them. Say, hey, this is a great job. I know you went above and beyond your due. I mean, it doesn't have to be an extravagant amount. It doesn't have to be thousands of dollars. Sometimes we'll give a $75 or a $50 or a $250. We just did some $250 because of how much he worked a couple weeks ago. Man, that goes a long way. So anyway, this is kind of where you want to lead from. You want to lead from that point of learning about yourself, learning about your team, if you want to connect with them. And the way you connect with them is by investing in them, investing in who they are, investing in their life. And so just want to encourage you on that today. I know it's a little bit longer video, but listen, I do apologize about all the craziness with the quizzes and the discussions, and I so apologize for that. Everything should be better from here on. And that's another way, just throwing this out there. If you find yourself at fault, quickly apologize and take responsibility. Boy, if there is a way to connect with your team, take responsibility, right? It's huge, man. I can't tell you how often I've been with leaders and worked with leaders that will not take responsibility. They feel like, hey, because of the position I'm in, I can't fail. No, that's wrong. Take responsibility. So I'm taking responsibility on that. Was not feeling well. I definitely did not know the quizzes and how they work. That's a new thing for the way they are doing these little quizzes and the way we correct them on our side. So I do apologize for that. But anyway, you guys are awesome. These discussions are incredible. So looking forward to everything that we're going to be learning. moving forward. Excited about your last project, your final presentation. I know this first part was a little bit confusing on how to do that, but don't worry, don't stress over that. I definitely have it in the way the papers have come across. We've had some that were really like very detailed, some were not as detailed. But as we go forward, you're gonna see where it's gonna start to kind of take shape, what you want to speak about. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm listening for. If it's a little vague what you're speaking on, I'll let you know that. If it's on point, I'll let you know that. If it's something that's even off the wall, I'll let you know that. Okay. So anyway, great having you all in class again. And so excited about what's coming up.